So we have a lot happening here at the Woodland Escape today. We've got Beau, Beckett, and Chris Johnston. I call them masters. They're humble and they'll shake their heads, but they're a couple of premier blacksmiths from Ontario. And today we are going to finally fortify the homestead. So we're down to gate doors, 2 emergency doors, a door on the powder magazine, and yeah, we'll be fortified, good to go for the winter. Anyway. Today we're building strap hinges, and strap hinges.
Yep.
Lots of them.
Lots of strap hinges.
So 6 for the gate and 2 on each of the door systems. And let's have a look, Beau. You brought along some original pieces,
Yeah.
and then we're going to go through the whole process of how they made strap hinges in this time period using the same tools and techniques. So let's have a look at some of the artifacts. Boy, you're serious, Beau. You even brought your own anvil.
Yeah.
So we're already going to make hay today because we've got 2 anvils to go, but these are some original pieces you said right off your farm, right off the buildings?
These are about 1860s off of farm buildings at my house.
So this would have been barn doors, obviously.
Probably, yeah. So this is similar to the style that we're going to be making today. It's a wrapped strap hinge, so the piece comes along here, wraps around, and then gets welded on this back side. So it's 2 pieces thick here, big forge weld, and it just makes that little loop for the eye. So they're pretty simple, they're pretty forgiving to make. You don't really need to measure anything, it just kind of comes together.
Bang them out.
Yeah.
The other thing that reinforces this, you mentioned, Beau, so you're going to put in our case, we're going to use square nails, but this had probably a big lag bolt in it of some sort.
Yeah, and if this weld is poor, this bolt holds it all together anyway. So if that weld breaks, your door is still going to hold up.
You know what I like about you blacksmiths? Because I'm just learning, but you all put your signature on everything.
Yeah.
Like you could just make a square hinge, no taper, no end piece, but this guy took the time to, and I'm sure all the hinges were the same, with that kind of fancy end on it.
Some punch. This one's got a spade end on it. We're going to do some like this today, but that one, I'm not sure how they would have done that. More probably with a swage to pinch it. We're going to do some spades, and we're going to do one with a circle on the end, which is a little more difficult than the spade, but still doable for the equipment we've got here.
Getting fancy in your old age.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now here we got, so this is the pintle, right? And I guess the second part of the strap hinge,
These
right?
go together.
All right. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so you're going to demonstrate each step.
Yep.
And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to make.
There's 10 pieces, or 10 pairs in total.
Right. Okay. Shall we get at it?
Yeah, we
All
better
right. Let's
start.
bang some steel. So Beau's over at the other bench doing some prep, and you've been doing a lot of prep prior to even getting here. You made out some of the blanks, but you've got the eye in this part of the strap hinge, right?
Yep.
And so now what are you doing at this end? What's the process here?
So this is actually a pair with the pintle and the hinge all in one bar, and I do that so that I'm not fiddling with a short piece with tongs trying to wrap it around. So I'll wrap both ends and then we'll part the bar off at whatever length we want to create the pintle end and the strap end.
Do some shaping, punch some holes.
Whatever we want to do to it, we can
Up
do
go
after.
the doors.
Yes.
We'll be secure tonight.
Probably,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll
10
let you
minutes.
at it. Okay, perfect.
So I'm starting with a piece of flat bar here. This is 1.5 inches by 3/16. And I'm gonna taper this end and then fold it over to be the eye. So that's my starting point. Okay, now for the 90-degree bend. Okay. So I'm just cooling it off where I don't want it to bend. So we're going to forge weld this now. So I'm going to put a little borax on here as a flux. Put that all in there. And I'll just heat that up to welding temperature. Okay, so that end is done. Okay, the next step is we're going to punch the hole that goes through the strap closest to the eye. So we are ready. Flip.
Yep.
There. So now we're just going to drift the hole a little bit just to true it up. There, that's a little better. Okay. So now we're going to do a decorative end on this side. We're going to make a circle and a tapered down. So the first step is to take the chisels and pinch in from both sides to isolate that end piece there. Okay, so we've got that tapered. I'm just about ready to start making this square into a circle.
There you go. So even today, punching holes like this is the most efficient method. More efficient than drilling, more efficient than cutting with a CNC machine, plasma, laser. Nothing is as efficient as piercing with a punch.
So we're not going to go through all the steps of making the pintle. I've got all the steps here showing the process. So I start with just a square bar, or not square bar, a piece of flat bar. That's the same. That's 1.5 by 3/16. Knock the corners off to make it round. Then you start with the curve, and then you wrap that around with the pintle pin in there. Now this one isn't welded, and there's a little bit of a gap right here. So the next stage after this is to do the weld. This one is welded. That gap is now closed, and it's just forge welded all the way around. So now that pintle hook or pintle pin is welded right in there. And then the last step is to punch those holes.
Done.
Yep.
No, the last step, Beau, is to hang doors.
To put them up.
Ah, you think you're getting away without help with the doors, didn't you now?
Nope, we're gonna. That's the next stage, I guess.
All right, we're just gonna baking on a bit of an oil finish here to make it a little bit weatherproof.
There's an old saying that an army marches on a full stomach. Well, so do blacksmiths. They bang a lot more steel on a full stomach. So I'm going to feed them well. When we're going to cook up some scallop potatoes, which is an old French recipe dating back to the early 1700s, I believe. I might get this guy cooking.
Right now I'm going to do the forge weld on the pin. It's still fastened to the main strap, but I'm doing that so that I can hold on to it. So once this is up to heat, I'll pull it out and do the first weld. I'll do this in several different weld stages, but this is the first stage here. That's probably ready. This next stage, I'm going to set the pin in this swage block here. So now I use this little block to weld that pin in because if this was the pin, when I'm hammering it, I hammer down, but the swage is hitting up in this direction. So you're basically pinching that pin in there in 3 directions. Rather than if I was doing it on here, I would hit it and it would squash it in that way and split that weld, where in this way you're pushing it all together. All right, there, that's welded in.